and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is comic book day. Let me show you what I got. First up is Nova, issue number 1. If you followed Nova in the slightest bit in the past couple of years, you know that there used to be a Nova Corps very similar to how the Green Lantern Corps is in the DC universe. However, this is in the Marvel universe. All the Nova Corps had been killed off with the exception of one guy, and this was Richard Rider. And then he died, and then a kid took his place, and this was Sam Alexander. However, everyone knows that no one really dies in the superhero universe, and Richard Rider is back. And this first issue is showing both of these guys' stories, and it looks like they may be teaming up later on. Batman issue number 12, I Am Suicide Part 4. Batman has been betrayed by Catwoman, and now he has to fight his way through all of Bane's henchmen on his fortified island. And even though it looks as though Batman's gonna have his ass handed to him in the next issue, things are never what they seem in comic books. The Unworthy Thor issue number 2. The Collector, who is one of the elders of the universe, is apparently a jerk in any continuity. He's collected Asgard, or at least a version of Asgard, that has the ultimate Thor's hammer on it. And he wants Odinson, who happens to be the Unworthy Thor, to get it for him. But he thinks he can't do it at this point because he's still unworthy. I'm really liking this title a lot, especially being that they have some little remnants of the Ultimate Universe being shown here. Superman issue number 12. Super Monster issue number 1. Frankenstein, and not Frankenstein's monster, he's actually called Frankenstein in this universe. He butts head with Superman because he's chasing after another monster. There's obviously a lot more to it, but they're probably going to be going into it in the next issue. Nightwing issue number 10. Bludhaven part 1. Finally, Nightwing is making his home in Bludhaven again. I say again because in the old universe, everyone pretty much knew this was his home city. However, in the New 52 universe, he's barely made any mention to it. So this was a solid beginning of a new adventure to establish his new home base. And I swear to God that DC Comics knows that Dick Grayson has the best ass in any comic book universe anywhere. They make sure to prominently show it, especially on the cover. Dead No More, The Clone Conspiracy, issue number 3. Oh my God, they had a huge reveal at the end of this issue. They brought back a character I never thought that they were going to touch again. I won't spoil it for anyone out there, but I'm curious as to how they're going to be able to explain this. I should note, I'm not a huge fan of clones. It is a very cheap plot device to bring back deceased characters, but in this instance, I actually am pretty interested to see how it's going to turn out. Finally, I read Wonder Woman 77 meets the Bionic Woman. I had no idea that both of these characters existed in the same time frame. I also didn't know that a lot of people wanted to see crossovers between them. I'll be completely honest, I've never seen either of their TV shows except for small clips here and there that people have posted online, which I know I should probably lose my Geek card for that, but it just is what it is. I just never really got around to watching them. This first issue was cute, and I'm sure a lot of people who have a lot of nostalgia for these old TV shows would really enjoy it. I don't know if I'm going to continue on reading the next issue or not, but still, it was something cool to read, and it was funny to see the two interactions between the two of the characters. So if anyone out there that did like these TV shows and want to see the characters together, you would probably enjoy this. If you don't know too much about the characters, and you don't really know what's going on in their respective universes, you may be a bit lost. But that's my comic load for this week. I also got Midnighter and Apollo issue number 3, but I'll talk about that in a separate video. What did you guys get? Leave comments down below and let me know. So anyways, thank you guys for joining me in this video. Be sure to check out my Patreon site when you get a chance. Check out my website, check out my social media sites, and everything else out there. Peace, love, namaste, and I'll see you guys later. Peace. I know the male equivalent to the Bionic Woman was the $6 Million Man, but was there another TV show that people wanted to see him cross over into? I know Superman didn't have his own TV show at the time, but maybe something else like Shazam. I don't know if that was on roughly around the same time or not.